Now, as alluring as the title of this video may be, it's not clickbait. My channel is an absolute mess, and I do absolutely love it, because if it wasn't as messy as it is, I don't think I would still be doing YouTube for a living. Anyway, let's get into it. Skip it up and that up. All right, so my apologies for not uploading for the past few days. I have been sick. I feel 95% better. You could still hear him a little nasally, but that is what it is. But it's one of the perks of being a YouTuber. Granted, you don't get paid time off, but if you're sick, I don't, you know, my boss is me, so I'm not going to call me and call out and have to worry about getting written up or fired, which is quite nice. The algorithm doesn't like you. I guess you can consider that my boss, but that's the beauty of it. However, I was streaming on my other channel, which is RTU Streams. I'll be doing a bunch of interesting stuff there for the month of November, and there's going to be a bunch of interesting stuff coming up here too. One of the products just arrived today. I know I'm kind of shamelessly plugging my channels, but there is a lot of big stuff coming up this month, and you should stay tuned. Make sure you hit that sub button on RTU Streams and on Review Tech USA. Sub to this channel, and there'll be a link below for RTU Streams and a top pinned comment for RTU Streams below in the description and the top pinned comment. I know I repeated myself twice right there, but you'll be fine. You will be a-okay. Also, too, surprise. Damn it. Jump cut. I now have two birds. Two beautiful birds. Here they are. Look at them. Look at these handsome birds. We have a holiday turkey, and we have, whose name is Steve. Say hello to Steve. And we have Carlos, who is still the ass-eating chicken. He likes holes. So a YouTuber I was subscribed to, YouTube unsubscribed me from their channel. Thank you for that, YouTube. And, well, now that he's quitting, I'm not going to resubscribe. Someone I've followed for a very long time, Timmy Joe PC Tech, where he would do a bunch of stuff with eBay finds and put builds together, and he did reviews and other things too. He was pretty much across the board when it came to PC gaming tech. And I noticed, well, there's two things I noticed. He was having some issues a while back. I'm not going to talk about anything. If the video is still on his channel, it's his business to talk about. And I just noticed that he wasn't uploading, and I was like, that's interesting. Well, he answered the question today. I'm not going to play the video. I'll have a link to the video below in the description as to why he hasn't uploaded. Well, because he quit YouTube. And this is something I've thought about on and off for a while, but seeing his video kind of gave me the inspiration to finally talk about it. Because YouTube is a complex game, and there's no playbook as to how to be successful on YouTube. And there's nothing that you could do. There's no secret formula that will guarantee that you will garner a following to the point that you can make a living on here. Now, I'll give you the cliff notes of his video. Basically, with the tech crunch or semiconductor shortage, because one of his things was going on eBay and finding good deals on cheap GPUs and other things like that. Well, those days, pretty much due to the pandemic and the semiconductor shortage, died. And from what I've gathered from his video, that was the final death knell or final nail in the coffin of his channel, because there was no bargains to be had. You know, hey, you could get a GTX 1060 for $400. There's a steal. Meaning that the person selling it to you is stealing $400 out of your wallet. But anyway, here's the talking points that he has in his video. And there's a lesson to be learned here, which is, yes, YouTube is easy. I sit in front of a camera with the mic in front of me and talk a bunch of crap. But to garner a following, and on top of it, to sustain a following where you could sustain yourself financially, is a tall order that sometimes is next to impossible, if not all the time. I would say the majority of the time it is next to impossible. Here's the notes I took from his video. I got a lot to say on this. Let's get into it. Now, one of the first things he said here, and look, I've always wanted to be in the entertainment field, and when I was younger, fame was important to me, but when I actually started doing YouTube full time, I could give a crap about the fame. But He said he always wanted to be famous. If the only thing that you want from being an entertainer, whether it be YouTube, whether you try to become a comedian, or whether you try to become a Hollywood actor, or whether it's a bad reason to do it, because you're not doing it because you love the craft. You're doing it because you love the byproduct of the craft, which is the fame. And honestly, I don't consider myself famous. I could still walk around a grocery store and 9 times out of 10, if not higher, people don't know who I am. But I would actually personally say the fame of this is a downside, and it's not something that, it's kind of annoying where you deal with nonsense online, you deal with other things, but fame shouldn't be the reason that you do this, because there's a lot of other catches that come along to garnering that fame. And if you're not ready for that, then you're going to be in a world of trouble. Fame does have plus sides, but I'm sure, as many of you have seen with all the drama that happens on YouTube and just in Hollywood or in general, fame has a lot of downsides. You have a lot of shady, moralist, opportunistic people that will destroy you to get a following themselves. You have people that stalk you. Look at Sweet Anita, what happened with her, and it just gets out of control. So if you don't love what you do, there's a lot of downsides to fame. And if you're not ready for that and you just simply want to be famous for the sake of being famous, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. Now, one of the things he said too is that Timmy Joe says he changes hobbies a lot, which in a way actually kind of goes into my channel being a mess. Having changing hobbies is a good thing. My takes on technology have changed. I've also brought in content that goes outside of just talking about technology. I've talked about drama in the YouTube community. I've done weird skits. I've done, it's okay to have different interests. I think a lot of people go into YouTube, I guess Timmy Joe as well, and think that you have to stick to one kind of content, which if you nail it, if you nail a vein and you're doing one-dimensional content and there is plenty of demand for that content there, look at XYZ Fortnite YouTuber, XYZ Minecraft YouTuber, and you hit and you strike while the iron is hot, but keep in mind this is still like a lottery ticket. If you find the right genre of content and hit while that content is at its hottest and people pay attention to you, yeah, that's a lottery ticket, and you're basically gonna become a millionaire at that point. But that's like winning the lottery. So you gotta go into this knowing that you're going to evolve as a person and that you're going to change as a person. And yes, some of your audience isn't going to come along, but you rather grow and be genuine to who you are, because people will sense that. And you'll still garner enough viewership that people want to watch you, because they're like, yeah, okay, his takes have changed or his content has changed, but I could tell he's being real. So you may leave a portion of your audience behind as you change, but you'll garner a new audience. I know I've done that. So it's okay that your hobby isn't as interesting to you. Just incorporate what your newer hobbies are and then slowly ingratiate it into your channel. There's a lot of things that you could do on that front, and that's actually saved me, but we'll continue. I'll get back to that later. Now, one of his things was also like, yeah, okay, he made YouTube videos, but he would sell these builds that he put together. But he said that the GPU shortage due to what happened with the pandemic killed his business. Cheap eBay builds were no more. I'm paraphrasing here. These are my notes that I have. And that's where I think the challenge of YouTube comes in. Because, yeah, I've felt it too. Here's what happened when the next-gen consoles, now current-gen consoles, came out. There was a big uptick in hype. And then once everyone realized that they couldn't buy a next-gen console unless they bought it from a scalper, that it just as fast as it peaked, it plummeted. And that didn't happen when the 8th gen consoles came out. Like, there was that huge peak. That's actually when I first started doing YouTube full time. We'll get back to that later. And because you could get your hands on an Xbox One and PlayStation 4, obviously there's that initial hype where it skyrockets, but there was still that people wanted to because now they have these new consoles. They're excited about them. They're getting games for the PS4 and Xbox One. That didn't happen with the PS5 and Series X. People like, why am I going to watch videos from Review Tech USA talking about the PS5, talking about the Series X, when I don't even think I'm going to be able to get these consoles until like mid-2022? I don't care. And yeah, I saw that happened where the interest like died off real quick, but I adapted. I talked about other things. I live streamed. I did other things that I enjoy. I sit here and have porcelain birds on my table that I do skits with. Like, one of the things I've always noticed throughout the years, and this is a recipe to guarantee that your channel will fail, is just to stick to not only a genre, like that's already a bet. If you're sticking to one kind of topic to talk about, you're already kind of pigeonholing yourself. But I've even seen people go as far as to just stick to a game, like one game. What happens when people are tired of that game? Remember the big uptick in all of the Call of Duty channels where there was like, I always bring them up, Only Use Me Blade and other channels like that, where they would just upload gameplay of them playing Call of Duty and maybe talk about what they had for breakfast. And they were getting hundreds of thousands of views, if not more, per video. But what happens when people lose interest? I mean, Call of Duty is still selling well, but what happens when people lose interest in those kinds of videos? What happens? You're only known for that. That's all you did. Your channel is just going to implode. And there were plenty of Call of Duty channels that did that. And that's part of the reason why I refuse to just make Rich, your channel's called Review Tech, you should just review tech. Which I know I'm a slob and I have ADHD and I have time management skills and there's things I could do better. I'll be the first to admit it. But if I just stuck to a specific kind of content or even went even further, a specific kind of game, my channel would have been done 5 years ago, at least. So being a mess like that actually benefited me and allowed me to be somewhat relevant still 8 years after I started YouTube full time. And you know what? I give him respect for this, man. He talked about getting a real job again. And that's fine. This isn't for everybody, man. I can understand wanting that kind of security. Now, on the flip side with me, this is the most secure job I've ever had. I'm about to be doing this almost for a decade long, and I'm very grateful. Like, it's amazing that I've had this much job security in a crazy field like the entertainment field. But I also like being creative. I like the challenge that every day. Now, look, I know I talk about gaming news, so that is, I lean towards that 80% of the time on my channel. But I like that I get in front of this camera every day and it's a blank canvas. I don't panic with that. That's actually a strength to me. I like that what can I talk about today? What can I do today? What kind of skit can I start my video with today? Sometimes I include birds. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I include my dog. Sometimes I don't. I like that I'm free. I could pretty much talk about whatever I want to, and it's up to me, and I enjoy that challenge to make it interesting and make it engaging and making people want to watch. But that's not for everybody. And if you consider that a detriment and not an exciting challenge, I could see how that can make you get nervous and panic. Because if it's not your thing to just, if you need to know that, okay, I have 20 different GPUs I can make videos on and coming down the pike, and that's what makes you feel comfortable. And if that stops and you don't like, oh crap, what do I do now? Yeah, this is a tough field, man. So it depends. I look at it as a glass half full thing, that I could come on here and create something fresh and try to get people's interest, and even give my own spins on gaming news where I get as weird as possible and get people to engage. Other people may despise that, and I understand it, because if you're not interested in just taking that blank canvas and painting a metaphorical picture every day, this could be an absolute nightmare for you. So, and everyone's different, and I can understand and empathize with that. Now, one of the last talking points I want to bring up is that he talked about he hated putting ads in his videos. And I'm actually I don't put a ton of ads in my videos. I mean, I have sometimes the BenQ ad, and I have sponsors, a few sponsors each month that I love, and I love working with them, and they're awesome. But he didn't like that. But here's why I do. It means that I don't have to do crowdfunding. I hate, like, he's like, oh, I wish my Patreon blew up. I'm actually different with that. I probably will never, ever, I almost can guarantee that I'll never do any type of crowdfunding again. The crowdfunding I get is from my live streams. I'm going to do a shameless plug again. Go click on the top comment or in the description below. RTU Streams is my secondary YouTube channel. Click there and sub. That's my crowdfunding. Super chats, Streamlabs. It's fun. I engage with the audience, and I don't have to worry about having different tiers and sending out things every month. And there's some people that their Patreon is their full-time job. They have to, from when they open their eyes to go to sleep, they're working on their different perks for different people. And look, if that's your thing and that worked for you, that's fantastic. I am way too much of a disorganized idiot to do that. And I like doing the live streams because I feel like I'm engaging and giving my audience something at the time of when they super chat or say something in the comments. I mean, the live chat, I mean to say, and that works for me. So that's how I adapted. I like Patreon's just, I've tried them a couple times. One time it did actually work out well. When I had my office, the Patreon paid for my office, and that was like at peak adpocalypse. So thank God for that. But the only thing I did was I had a Patreon only live stream each month, or maybe once or twice a month, but whatever, that doesn't matter. So I think the sponsorships are great. I don't do them too often. People still complain, but look, it's make sometimes well over 100 videos a month. 60 to 100. Getting 2 ads or 3 ads, and out of those 60 to 100 videos, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. But he didn't like them. So, hey, that's his thing. I'm a little different. But here is one where, and this is how I'm going to close out this video. I always see people say this when they're making a YouTube video where they're quitting or they're moving on or whatever. YouTube is a young man's game. That is a pile of crap. Now, okay, if you're only looking to get 10 million subscribers and you're looking to jump on the next big wave, there's a new game that's coming out, and you're thinking it's going to be the next Fortnite, and you want to be that guy. I'm never going to be the guy, because when I started doing this full time, I was well past that age anyway. I'm never going to be this smash that like button, guys. Let's play some Roblox. Oh my goodness, what am I doing here? Like, I see the videos like my 5-year-old watches where there's like these 20-something dudes that are like either like 18 to 25 at the oldest. And it's like these super high energy videos where there's a new edit every 3 seconds because they know that kids that don't, if there's not a change in the way the videos look every 5 seconds, they're going to stop watching. It, like, if you consider only that YouTube success, where you're getting like 5 million views a video and smash that like button and you're getting all the 5-year-olds to watch you playing Roblox, yeah, then it's a young man's game. But for everyone thinking, like, if you're like my age even, or you're at the time when I started full-time YouTube, I started it at early 30s, like 32, don't listen to that. That's I know that thought is out there, and it's like that's like the unwritten rule that you have to be like 18 to 25 to make it on YouTube. Man, like I said, I started in my early 30s. And what's interesting is that at the time I hated the job, but everyone's like, "Oh my God, this job is so much." With the job I was at, I was like, "Oh, it has so much room for growth and room for potential and this and that." And yeah, okay, you're starting low, but hey, you got laid off, and this was during the recession, and you were laid off and haven't had a full-time job for a few years. And then you could go on to being a regional manager, and then you could get you could set up your 401k. And I'm like, I don't even want to be at this job for another month. And you're already laying out my family was like laying out the plans for me to do this crap for like another 2 decades of my life. Get out of here. And it was funny that there was, when I saw in 2013, I saw my sub growth start growing exponentially. My viewership was growing exponentially. And I sat down and did the math. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take this risk. And I was 32. I was considered well past the goodbye date or good for date to be a YouTuber, because everyone assumes that to be a successful YouTuber, you have to be anywhere from like your tweens to at best your mid 20s. And if you're anywhere beyond that, you're not going to be relevant. You can't make a living on here. I am living proof that that's not true. There is no expiration date to YouTube unless you're looking to only tap into that Roblox, Minecraft, Fortnite vein of getting 80 billion views per video for whatever the hell you upload. No, people want relatable people. Most of my audience is in their mid 20s, 30s, and 40s. I look at the demographics. There's a lot of people out there that age that watch YouTube that don't want that Roblox, Minecraft, Fortnite crap. There are people like, I love doing this, man. If I wake up tomorrow, and I plan on being, if I wake up one day, not tomorrow, but in the somewhat near future, and I'm a multi-millionaire, I'm still going to do YouTube. I'm not shutting down my channel. I'll still put content up here. And what's funny, in the end, I'll bring this home now, is probably my channel's saving grace, which arguably can be its detriment too, is that I am a mess. That one day I'll have a special making the ultimate PS5 gaming setup, which is a video that's coming soon, which is another reason why you should be subscribed. The next day I may talk about Keemstar. The next day I may talk about Nintendo. The next day I may talk about something going on in the news, which I kind of somewhat try to avoid because politics is absolutely poisonous. The next day I may just have some kind of parody tech skit, or I may do a Grand Theft Auto parody video or whatever, because that's what's fun to me is having a messy channel. This channel, I'll be the first to admit, is an absolute mess. You don't know what to expect from one day to the next from me. And I'm sure, like I've said, that's hurt my channel. But the reason why I've almost been a decade long doing YouTube full time is that I have a lot of variety and I do what I want to do, not what I think my audience wants me to do. And that's the difference. And that's what people don't realize. If you're enjoying it and you're talking about topics you want to talk about and you're doing videos you want to do, people sense that your enthusiasm is genuine. They sense that you're being real. And if they feel they can relate to you, they're going to subscribe and they're going to be engaged. If you're just looking to tap into a certain kind of content, which, look, man, there's free real estate videos. I talk about them all the time. If I know a video is going to get viewership, of course, I'll lean towards that one. But if people sense that you're genuine, because even in my free real estate videos, I'm genuinely and giving you my genuine take on them. If they sense you're real, they're going to want to stick around. And all the time on my streams, I have people tell me, Rich, I've been watching since 2011. Rich, I've been watching since 2013. Some people say they've been watching, then they even know the name of my old channel, RLM Audio. It's long gone, been deleted for years. Been watching me since then. And I think the reason that is because I'm me and I make the content I want to make. And because I want to make it, the enthusiasm's there and you guys want to watch. And I can't thank you enough for that. It's because of you wanting to watch that I've been doing this now for almost 10 years full time. And it's incredible. And it's still just the beginning for me. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.